Please rise with me and state the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Then we'll move into roll call, starting on my right.
Lavella here.
Austin here.
Limer here.
Mater here.
Brady here.
Freeman here.
Roberts here. Quorum is present. Seeing that we have no items under the consent agenda, we'll move on into the regular agenda, which is item number 1A. The reserve at Waverly Point 10th Plat, PDP-16-01, hold a public hearing for and consider a revised preliminary development plan for the reserve at Waverly Point 10th Plat, a 0.5-acre multifamily residential development located at 202 Laurel Street, submitted by Phelps Engineering on behalf of Ken Rogler of Design Homes Incorporated. Do we have a presentation from staff?
Yes, we do.
Great.
Good evening, Commissioners, yes, and Madam Chair. Chad Barr, Planner 1, to present this evening's cases. As you said, we've got item 1A, which is a preliminary development plan 1601. This first slide is the aerial map with the property line highlighted in red in the center. It's also at 202 North Laurel Street here in Gardner. Now a few slides from the field. This is looking southwest from Jefferson Street, the subject property there in the center. This one's looking north-northeast from West Santa Fe Street, again the subject property in the center. This is looking across the street, or looking south-southeast from North Laurel Street to kind of show a flavor of the neighborhood of, as far as the building has occurred already. With here we have the layout view. The property line, again, is highlighted in red. The proposed lot lines are highlighted in green, and the structure highlighted in blue. Some history on the particular property or subject property. It was rezoned to its current RP-3 zoning back in 2007, and there was also a preliminary development plan that was approved back in 2007. This was revised in 2014. Wait for the sirens to pass. And that was approved in March of 2015. So this would be a revision to the revision, if you will, as far as the case that's before you. The property is a half acre in size. 4 units are proposed, so that would give it a density of 8 units per acre, which is in line with previous city approvals for R3 type zoning. Now some physical details as far as the development. There's a drainage easement along the north side. It's a 20 feet wide drainage easement. It goes along the north side of the property. Both the sewer and water mains are in the front of the subject property, which basically is on the west side of North Laurel Street. Electric service is from the north. It comes down along the west property line. There's a utility easement proposed for that. And the gas line is located on the east side of Laurel Street. This is an elevation view of the building. For the developer, they call this in their nomenclature, it's a building type B, but there's actually a type B unit, not to be confused with that, and those are on the ends. The 2 units on the end are type B units, and they're at 1,454 square feet, and then the type A units, which are the center units or middle, they're at 1,634 square feet, and they're 2-story. The front setbacks, I'm going to go back one slide. The front setbacks are proposed at 22.5 feet. The requirement through the zoning is 30 feet, but based upon previous approvals in this particular area with previous Waverly Point subdivisions, this is kind of a standard proposal. The side yard setback requirement is actually 7 feet, but what is proposed is 5 feet. And the rear yard setback requirement is 25 feet, and what is proposed is 19 feet. Staff finds these acceptable. Remember, with the plan type of zoning, that does allow for flexibility in setbacks per the old code. Even though we're under the new code, this was still filed under the old code, so it's being reviewed under that. Now, these pictures here are the back and side elevation views. And with that, staff recommends approval of the preliminary development plan for the reserve at Waverly Point 10th plat, located at 202 North Laurel Street, case number PDP-16-01, and recommends forwarding a recommendation for approval to the governing body.
Great.
That would conclude my presentation on that.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you.
We'll now open the public hearing. All those wishing to speak this evening, individuals are allotted 3 minutes. Those representing groups are allotted 7. Please come forward, state your name and address for the public record, and be heard.
Hi, Judd Clausen, Phelps Engineering, 1270 North Winchester, Olathe, Kansas. With me tonight is Ken and Lisa Rogler.
Yeah, my address is 10800 South Whitetail Lane, Olathe, Kansas, 66061.
Thank you.
Just wanted to thank the commissioners for making your time out of your busy schedules to come to a special meeting to get this approved, so we can keep moving forward on this. We really take no exceptions, I don't believe, with Chad's report, with staff's report. This is consistent with the other buildings that have already been built out there, really nothing different, so we ask for your approval here tonight.
Great. Thank you.
If you had any thoughts about why we went from a 6-plex to the 4-plex, was actually because we saw more of a demand for 2-car garages, and the only way to get those end units with a 2-car garage was to lose the 2 units in the middle, basically. So
Completely understood. Thank you. Any others wishing to speak this evening? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. Oh, sorry, Karen.
Go ahead.
I move we close the public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion by Freeman with a second by Lavella that we close the public hearing. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Public hearing is now closed. With that, commissioners, do you have any questions for staff, or we have the applicant here with us this evening? If you don't have any questions, I'd entertain a motion on item 1A.
I move that we approve the preliminary development plan for the reserve at Waverly Point, 10th plat, located at 202 North Laurel Street, case number PDP-16-01, and recommend forwarding a recommendation for approval to the governing body.
Second.
We have a motion made by Freeman with a second by Limer that we approve the preliminary development plan for the reserve at Waverly Point, 10th plat, located at 202 North Laurel Street, case number PDP-16-01, and forward that recommendation for approval to the governing body. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries with all in favor. Next item on the agenda, item 1B, FDP-16-03. Consider a final development plan for the reserve at Waverly Point, 10th plat, a 0.5-acre multifamily residential development located at 202 Laurel Street, submitted by Phelps Engineering on behalf of Ken Rogler of Design Homes Incorporated. We have a presentation this evening.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Thank you.
Now, with the final development plan on this same development, we add in the landscaping. As you can see here from the slide, the proposed tree and plantings. The trees are highlighted, and the shrubs are there but not highlighted with color. They're pretty small. But as per the zoning ordinance, the landscaping, proposed landscaping meets all the requirements of the code itself. So with that, staff recommends approval of the final development plan for the reserve at Waverly Point 10th plat, located at 202 North Laurel Street, subject to the following items. Number one, approval of the preliminary development plan, PDP 16-01, by the governing body shall be completed prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy. And condition two, remove the signature blank for Planning Commission chairperson on the final development plan document.
Great. Thanks, Chad. Any questions from the commissioners on item 1B? If we don't have any questions or comments, I'd entertain a motion on item 1B.
I move that we approve the final development plan for the reserve at Waverly Point, 10th plat, located at 202 North Laurel Street, subject to items 1 and 2.
Second.
We have a motion made by Lavella with a second by Limer that we approve the final development plan for the reserve at Waverly Point, 10th plat, located at 202 North Laurel Street, subject to the following items being items 1 and 2. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries with all in favor. Item 1C, FP-16-02. Consider a final plat for the reserve at Waverly Point, 10th plat, a 0.5 acre multifamily residential development located at 202 Laurel Street, submitted by Phelps Engineering on behalf of Ken Rogler of Design Homes Incorporated. Do we have a presentation from staff this evening?
Yes, we do.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll just go right to the plat view. On this particular slide, you'll see the subject property highlighted in red and the proposed 4 lots. Nothing else much to say on this one. It's pretty straightforward. Staff recommends the Planning Commission approve. Staff recommends the Planning Commission recommends approval of the final plat and forward a recommendation for approval of the plat and acceptance of dedications and easements for the reserve at Waverly Point, 10th plat, located again at 202 North Laurel Street, subject to the following conditions. There's 3. Number 1, applicant shall construct according to the approved final development plan and this final plat, including designation of easements for utility lines and drainage. Number 2, all required landscaping shall be installed prior to issuance of the final certificate of occupancy permit. That's per the zoning code. And then number 3, plat shall be recorded prior to the issuance of the final certificate of occupancy.
Great. Thank you, Chad. Any questions or comments from the commissioners for staff on item 1C? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion on item 1C.
I move that we approve the final plat and forward a recommendation for approval of the plat and acceptance of the dedications and easements for the reserve at Waverly Point, 10th plat, located at 202 North Laurel Street, subject to conditions 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
We have a motion made by Freeman with a second by Limer that we approve the final plat and forward a recommendation for approval of the plat and acceptance of the dedications and easements for the reserve at Waverly Point, 10th plat, located at 202 North Laurel Street, subject to conditions 1, 2, and 3. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries with all in favor. Not seeing any discussion items, or if we have anything from staff this evening.
About the August meeting.
Oh.
Okay, we do have something.
We did not receive any applications for the August meeting, so if you're okay with that, we would go ahead and cancel that meeting.
Believe we would, all is in consensus that cancellation is acceptable. Right.
We typically do some sort of refresher training, probably September, October, so we would try to do that then, but if we don't necessarily have to meet, we try not to do that.
Yes, let's proceed with a cancellation of that meeting. Nothing else? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn made by Limer, and we'll let Mr. Austin have the second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed. With all in favor, the meeting's adjourned for the evening.
16 minutes, maybe.
No.
I know it's,
I know.
could have been fast.
Woohoo.
Some of the stuff written down.
You're treating Larry? Oh, Larry's awesome.
Incoherently.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have a hard time when I go up there and I open
The what?
places that sometimes
Grease
people,
pit?
members,
Oh.
commissioners, I had to think that
You didn't
through.
practice it?
And I didn't practice that, no.
Brett, did anyone tell you you got reelected?
Yes, I was in contact with Adriana,
Hi,
yes.
Simon out.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
We're supposed to leave our books, right?
Yes, please leave your books. Leave your book, Brad. Well, at least 2 cases in September.
All right, Larry, well, I'll see you in a couple
Maybe
weeks.
more than that, if we get more.
Okay.
I don't know if we'll get.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we'll have the rezoning,
Yeah.
preliminary
All right.
plat.
All right.
Yeah, and I guess
And I
it's-
think the tower's gonna try to get their,
double checked, and so far they're not car filling,
which is
so.
fine. That'll be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, unless someone says something to you.
And then we might have a couple more.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Somebody's over-
Myself, Cheryl,
Yeah.
Okay.
trying to think, there's, Rich Miller, 2 other directors. One other city councilman, we can only have 2 councilmen remaining. Otherwise, it's a quorum. You want me to give it to you now? Or I send it to you?
Thank you.
Yeah, if you want. Go over there and forward it to you now. Yeah. I'm thinking he's not even gonna see,
Is this a box? Okay, yeah, I see.
So,
Okay.
and one,
I'll walk away with that.
Thank you very much.
No.
I'm not sure if this is recording or not, but I couldn't get the right thing. She started and I couldn't get the right thing to come up on the screen, so, yeah, I don't know if it's recorded or not.
I think it was simple, I mean,